A Table for Two by its_Kingston on AO3. Episode 2. Chapter 2. Luz was currently in Ida's diner, sitting on her usual spot by the counter, swinging the last sip of her milkshake around the glass. "When did you say the newbie's going on break?" Luz asked Rainey for the 4th time. Rainey groaned and grabbed their clipboard, which housed all of the employees' schedules, and placed it in front of Luz. "You've got to be patient. She's scheduled for a break in 10 minutes. I'll let her know that you want to talk to her, but I can't make her come out here." "Okay," Luz murmured, tipping back the last of her milkshake. "Why are you so adamant about talking to her?" Rainey asked, causing Luz to almost choke on her drink. "No reason," Luz quickly said, not at all convincing Rain. "Sure," they responded skeptically, grabbing their clipboard and storing it safely below the counter. "So, how was your day?" Rainey asked, making small talk as Luz waited. "I'm off work Fridays and Saturdays, so it's pretty good. How about you?" Luz said as she leaned forward and rested her elbows on the counter. "It was so-so." Rainey stopped to talk to a customer at the register, taking the order and sending it back to the kitchen before resuming. "Ida isn't feeling well today, so she's upstairs resting." "She okay?" Luz asked, glancing to the stairs behind the counter as if Ida would be there. Ida and Rainey owned not just the diner, but the entire building, so they made it their house upstairs. According to Ida, it made it impossible to be late at work, since she was always in the building. "Yeah, she'll be okay. It's probably just a cold," Rainey responded. "Though I should probably check on her. I haven't heard from her in a few hours." Luz nodded in acknowledgement before Rainey quickly walked away. While passing by the kitchen, they shouted something to someone in there before disappearing upstairs. A few minutes later, Amity came out of the kitchen, her red airplane slashed with water, probably from the dishes. "Hey, Pancake. Rainey said you needed me for something," Amity said as she leaned onto the counter in front of Luz. "I don't need you for anything, newbie. I just wanted to ask you something," Luz said, glaring at Amity. "Okay, shoot." "Why do you look familiar?" Luz said, turning her head to the side, as if that would jar the answer loose. "What do you mean?" Amity responded. Luz watched as her mask of confidence cracked for a moment, a brief wave of panic evident in her tone. Her mask was quickly patched, all human emotions shut out as she glared towards Luz. "I mean, I feel like I've seen you somewhere, but I can't place it," Luz murmured. "What's your last name?" "I'm not telling someone I barely know," Amity fired back, although that wasn't her main reason. It was a reason nonetheless. "I'm Luz Noceda, 22 years old. I've been coming to this diner for 12 years. Ida and Rainey can vouch for me." Luz paused to take a breath. "Now, what's your last name?" Amity sighed and shook her head. "I'm still not telling you, Pancake." "I just told you my name, so stop calling me that, newbie," Luz said back, trying to sound firm and confident like Amity did, but failing miserably. "I don't think so, Pancake. My break is over, so I need to head back." Amity chuckled before leaning in close to Luz. Amity rested her hand on Luz's cheek. "I bet you'll still be waiting for me here when I get off of work at 6. Huh." And with that, Amity spun around and walked away, grinning slightly over her shoulders as she did. Luz watched her leave before raising her hand to her cheek, unsure if the pressing warmth was from Amity's hand or from her own heart betraying her. "What was that about?" Luz thought, deciding she needed another milkshake, as they've been waiting, which wouldn't surprise Luz. Rainey came down the stairs. "Ida's doing fine. I made her some soup, and she's feeling better," Rainey said as they stepped back up to the counter. "That's good," Luz mumbled, her mind still elsewhere. "Earth to Luz. Are you okay?" Rainey asked, looking concerned. "Oh, yeah, I'm just fine. Just thinking." "Glad Ida's doing better," Luz responded. "Could you make me another milkshake? It's a 2-shake day." Rainey laughed and turned around to make it at the station behind them. When milkshakes were introduced to the diner, Rainey became the resident milkshake expert and got their own station just behind the counter. It amazed people how quickly they could create their milkshakes out of seemingly thin air. I've got years of practice, even before Ida and I put them on the menu, Rainey had said, explaining how they worked at different restaurants years ago, working the shake station there as well. Thanks, Rainey, Luz said as they slid the glass across the table. What happened while I was gone to make this into a two-shake day, as you so aptly called it? Rainey asked, peering into the kitchen as they spoke. Luz was unsure if they were checking on the employees or just Amity, though. Probably the former. Nothing, Luz said back, taking a sip of her drink. What? Was she supposed to tell Rainey that Amity had come out here and messed with her? Was that considered messing with? Or was it flirting? Luz was incredibly unsure of what her next action was, and started emptying into her glass. Luz? Rain asked, growing more concerned. Luz wasn't one to space out. She was normally talkative and sociable when she was at Ida's. Yeah? Luz said, not looking up from her milkshake. Are you sure you're okay? You can talk to me, Rain said, leaning over the counter to put a hand on Luz's shoulder. Yeah, I'm okay. Just thinking. Luz said back, resting her head and smiling. Thank you, though. But seriously, Rainey, I'm fine. Rainey smiled and nodded back, before stepping away to check over the kitchen staff. She seemed protective of her identity. I wonder why. Is she no good? Luz wondered as she sat there, losing track of time. I can't just give up on this. It's going to bug me until I figure out who. Guess I was right. Hey, Pancake, Amity said as she walked past, no longer in uniform. She patted Luz on the shoulder, smiling as she headed to the door. Don't bother coming tomorrow. It's my day off, Amity called as she walked out. Oh, wait, Luz said, standing up and following Amity out. Hey, newbie, she called, stepping beside Amity's car. Rolling down the window, Amity gave Luz an annoyed glare. I'm not working anymore. You still gonna bother me? Want to hang out tomorrow? Luz wasn't sure why she asked, but in the moment, she was completely sure it was because she wanted to get to know Amity, whoever she was. Why? Amity skeptically asked. We met yesterday. Are you already trying to set up a date? I didn't mention a date, but I guess I know what you're thinking about, Luz said back, causing Amity to grin. Amity reached over and grabbed a pen from inside her car and looked around for a piece of paper. Not seeing any, she took Luz's hand, quickly jotting down a number. What are you doing? Luz asked, trying not to move as Amity wrote something. Giving you my number? Amity said, letting go of Luz's hand. Sure enough, on her palm was a 10-digit number, written clearly despite Luz's awkward moving. I like to admire my handwork too, but you should put that in your phone before it gets smudged. Amity laughs, causing Luz to carefully grab her phone out of her pocket, despite her flustered state she was in. Geez, a pretty girl just gave me her number? That's gotta be flirting, right? Luz second-guessed herself, slowly typing in numbers. Before she could finish, Amity spoke. I'll be here tomorrow, she said, before backing up her car and pulling away. Bye, Pancake, she said, waving out the window as she drove away. Luz stood there in silence, watching until she couldn't see Amity's car anymore. Why does she insist on calling me that? And what is she doing to my head? Luz thought, finishing putting the number in. I probably shouldn't text her while she's driving, she murmured, and ran back inside, realizing she didn't pay. Hey, kiddo, did I just watch you get Purple's number? Ida asked. She now sat behind the counter, not working, but there to probably bother Rain as they tried to take orders. No, she told me the best place to get an exotic selection of cars? Luz stopped, wiggling her hands together. Rainey sighed as Ida laughed, neither of them believing a word. She wrote the address of the exotic car dealership on your hand? That's a first, Rainey replied, causing Ida to chime in. Could I get the address? I've been looking for a car from the Amazon rainforest, Ida said, grabbing a pen out of Rainy's shirt pocket. Fine. She gave me her number, Luz said quietly, awkwardly paying Rain for the drinks. As Luz hurriedly left the diner, she heard Ida yell something. It's only been 2 days, kid. Don't hit on my staff after only 2 days. Luz got in her car and started the engine. Resisting the urge to slam her head against the horn, she drove away. It'll become routine if I don't stop going to see her at work. Luz got out in front of her apartment, climbing the stairs to room 309. I'm home, Luz said as she walked in. It had become a habit to greet her apartment, but she couldn't remember when or why she started. Making dinner, Luz saw the smudged number on her hand and was instantly reminded of the terrible excuse about exotic cars. Guess she was right about the number getting mixed up. I wondered if she's home yet. Luz grabbed her phone and wrote out a message to Amity. Never mind, Luz mumbled, deleting her text and setting her phone down. After eating, Luz took a shower and went to sleep. Well, not quite. She laid in bed for almost an hour, anxious about meeting Amity at Ida's tomorrow. Picking up her phone from her nightstand, Luz texted Amity. Luz, hey, tomorrow are we just going to Ida's, or are we going somewhere else? Luz set her phone back down and rolled over, comfortably settling into her bed, not expecting a response. But of course, Amity sent one just as she was falling asleep. Amity, hey, pancakes. Depends on what you want to do. Why? Luz, don't know if I should dress formal or casual. Amity, casual. Luz, cool beans. See you tomorrow then. Amity, good night, pancake. Luz, whatever. Luz put her phone down, sighing in frustration. Why does she insist on calling me that? She grumbled, unsure if she was mad at Amity for calling her that or mad at herself for not minding the nickname. Luz rolled over again and shut her eyes, her brain refusing to shut down. She couldn't seem to wind down. Luz was excited for tomorrow, despite only knowing Amity for a few days. 2 days, to be specific. She felt like she could be trusted. Sure, there was an air of mystery around her, and she was secretive, and she was your stereotypical bad girl, and okay, maybe Luz had too much faith in her. Either way, she drifted off to sleep, still thinking about Amity and her upcoming date. Okay. I could see where now it could be a little OC, like, OOC-ish, just a little bit, but specifically it's an Amity, a little bit. The flirting, right? But if we keep into account that, she is 22, right? Mind you, she's 22, right? When I was a teen, I was very, not red-faced, but I would get flustered easily and shit like that. But, now it's different because I've grown, I've experienced more, kind of thing. And some might say, oh, Amity being a bad girl doesn't seem like it. But, think about it rationally. Kids of very strict parents always end up becoming those kids that underage drink, those kids that are always getting into trouble, those people that are always testing boundaries. Why? Because they were always expected to stick to the lines. So now in adulthood and in adolescence, they try to step out of the line because they've been suppressed. Box them up, they'll explode kind of situation, right? So far, it's not OOC-ish to the point where it's like, this isn't believable, but it's to the point where it's like, okay, I can see that this character has gone through some things, and it's really interesting to see what they've gone through, and it is believable still. Kingston, I am your #1 apologist. You could murder someone and I would still be on your side. Please do not murder someone. Please don't. Please don't, Kingston. Sorry. We aren't friends. It has to be /Kingston. I'm joking, Kingston. We're friends. I like to think we're friends, right? Are we friends? I mean, we never actually outrightly said we're friends. Ignore the kids in the background. But, I feel like we're friends. You talk to me a lot, but, it's like, okay, well, are we friends? Kingston, are we friends? Kingston, oh my god. I'm gonna be living with this for, a couple days before you respond because this is not getting posted immediately. Kingston, are we friends? I like to think we're friends, right? We're friends, right? Oh my god, are we friends? We are friends, right? Right? Okay, as always, my rain drops. Make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.